Hey YouTube, we are back again with with episode 4 of the SFO Grimhammer 2 playthrough of Total Warhammer 2, playing as the Golden Order
Do
headed
not
by
waste my potential.
Balthasar Gelt. We were just getting finished decimating Fester Spike, and we're probably going to be moving on to the vampires over here in a little bit. Have a feeling they're going to be giving us some trouble. Let's go ahead and hit the end turn that we didn't get to last time. Hopefully they don't declare war on us until we get a little bit closer to them. I think what I'm going
Friendship
to... Oh,
is
let's see
more
what
valuable than gold.
Belligar wants from us. Military alliance? No, thank you. You have a tendency to declare some wars here and there, and I am not interested. That can be bad. Okay. We might
Greetings
have
in
to...
Sigmar's name.
No, Wissenland, you're just going to keep frustrating me, aren't you? Just keep hanging out. So, carry out a successful assassination attempt against the following race, the Vampire Counts. This is a quest issued for the Amulet of Sea Gold. A number of strange incidents have occurred within the Empire of late. Tombs have been desecrated and libraries broken into. Oddly, nothing has been taken. The Emperor's spies report that a number of ill-omened individuals have been connected to some of the misdeeds. The trick now is to catch one of them and learn more. So we're going to carry out an assassination attempt. So instead of catching them, we're just going to assassinate them. Yeah, carries. Oh, joy, Wissenland. Wissenland. I suppose this was always going to happen. So, Elector declares independence. Eben von Libowitz. So Elector Count Eben von Libowitz has brazenly announced the secession of Wissenland from the Empire, declaring the state's total independence. You can oppose Wissenland's independence with military action and declare war, or alternatively, use your political power to gather support and stop their secession without bloodshed. So I can either stop Wissenland by force, such contempt cannot be tolerated and will be met with imperial aggression, or rally political support. War between the Empire states should be avoided at all costs. So that'll cost me 1,000 prestige. So I was talking about before, I think in the last episode, about this prestige. We need to keep like a base amount of prestige. That's precisely for these types of scenarios where you'd want to prevent the secession of one of the Elector Counts from the Empire. However, again, we wanted to take over Wissenland from the get-go. So this actually kind of goes to our benefit a little bit, even though we're a little bit beat up. Which probably isn't the best for us at the moment. However, I think we're going to go ahead and stop Wissenland by force.
Your prestige grows, my lord.
Awesome. Our prestige is growing. Border patrol. So we completed this objective of border patrol. Many foul green skins mass at the Empire's southern borders. Their presence is a grave threat to Imperial settlements in the region. So Balthasar Gelt has been tasked with ensuring the Emperor's enemies cannot force their way into his territory. So that was by repelling Fort Sol. So it's occupying and razzing settlements. So basically, what we were doing over here with the greenskins, and then ultimately over here with Fester Spike. So unite the lands. That's the next quest in the order. Even the worst emperors in history and shamefully, there have been many, could claim to have more than one province under their rule. To truly bring the empire back to greatness, the throne must exert its power to provinces further afield. So it's telling me to raise sack. Missions. No, that was something that was probably down here in the objectives. As part of the chapter objectives. To occupy, loot, raise, or sack 8 different settlements. So we're going to largely ignore those because we are going to have to deal with now is this unit over here, this army,
I am ready.
who is much better equipped than we are, unfortunately, and they probably are going to stay that way for quite some time. I don't foresee being able to do anything, recruit any better, hugely better units. However, with the reinforcements, we should be okay. Coupled with Balthasar's Gelt's Outriders, the Mortar, and the Great Swords, they should be hugely helpful. Eldard Guard are going to do some work. So let's go ahead and see, actually.
I am the supreme patriarch.
Oh, okay, so we'll be able to recruit some crossbowmen from Festerspike. That'll be useful.
You summon
So let's
me.
go ahead and
I
attack
shall be
there.
victor-
So this guy's gonna potentially cause some problems because he can focus down single units. I think he can also potentially target multiple units. Rather, unlike Marcus Wolfhard, who can only target single entities, I think these abilities can be used to target multiple, to target entire multi-unit, multi-model units. So these with 140 entities, they could probably still target those. So we need, let's see, charge bonus, we need some move speed. Let's give Gelt some speed. So we want to control large armies because that'll get all of our troops in there as quickly as possible. Auto-resolving probably loses us, yeah, pretty much all of our swordsmen, so we're going to have to bombard as quickly as possible. I think I'm going to try to send these guys, the garrison, into the meat grinder first. Let's see how that all shakes out in a second here. Because they have units that are they have a lot of units that are gonna cause me significant troubles. And we're gonna see if we can't, depending on where our reinforcements are coming from, hopefully from behind us. Let's see, our reinforcements are coming from back here. Okay, that works out beautifully. Let's go ahead and set up our mortar. See, I think this is a dip in the land. Let's go ahead and set up our mortar right here, just like with the greenskins. They're going to have to kind of run at us by this little channel here in the land, so we're going to use that to our advantage. Set up all our bows and crossbows right there. Oh, wow, that unit is kind of... Yeah, he probably was fighting in melee in the last fight. We'll have to set up our swordsmen. Actually, if we do this, if we set up our Eldard Guard, make the swordsman kind of bunch up like that, and then these swordsmen here. Hopefully we can spread that damage around a little bit, and we'll also see if we can't. So I'd like to pull off an ambush with these guys. Let's see, I wonder if these forests are... Not really. How about these forests over here? They should be pretty dense. Wow. They just do not want to hide. They want to get into the thick of the fighting as soon as possible. It's quite a ways to travel for them, so I'm not a fan of that. Actually, I wonder if I can hide them. There just aren't good forests for them to hide in, really. Like there's a whole bunch back here that they still don't want to hide in. Okay, so it's going to have to be this forested area, and they're just going to have to go for a bit of a ride. They're pretty fast, 85 speed. It's not the worst, so they should be able to hopefully get over there. And we're also going to have Balthasar Gelt initiate with a bit of damage. He starts off... Actually, we might want to have him charge up his magic, because we're probably gonna need that pretty significantly in this fight. So let's have him start back here, and we'll start the bombardment on these crossbowmen. Okay, let's get you up in front, Empire General. We're gonna need let's see here. So these are the crossbowmen that we got from the garrison. These should be the garrison units. Put them up front. Okay, and these are more archers.
Quick march! No lingering! We are Sigmar's heirs! Formation, march!
Okay, so they're just hanging out. That's good. That works out for in our favor. Let's get these two spearmen like that. And our garrison unit, let's kind of put them more in front. You, we'll turn you off of skirmish mode. We want you to kind of engage as quickly as possible.
By Sigmar, obey me! Moving out!
There we go. That should kind of keep the lines. That Eldar guard is pretty well reinforced. We won't have to worry too much about them. This should be a decent setup here. And so they're just going to keep taking the brunt of those mortar shells, which works out in our favor. Don't have to worry about the horsemen being caught out since they don't even, they're not even bothering with them very much. Let's start firing over here a little bit. Because this is a big clump. Actually, if you aim at those swordsmen, I might be able to hit this big clump here, and those archers, those crossmen are pretty badly damaged. So I'm not as worried about them. Those crossbows are definitely going to be able to hit my troops way before I hit theirs, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind. That their lines are going to be able to stop way before mine. You can see they're already, so let's see what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna just pause this real quick to get my bearings. So I think what I'm going to do is have these, so I'll need my whole front line. To move up. What are you? You're you. I need you to move up there. You to move up here. Okay.
Ready? Yes, General.
These guys firing there. Let's get these guys firing at that crossbowman unit. We want all these archers to be.
Yes, sir. Attack!
Bow before me!
Real quick, let me just issue some orders here. Don't want them running around like maniacs for no reason. And let's have you start that up again. Let's have you start going mortar. Let's have you do some damage over there. But Gelt, yeah, let's throw some magic around, shall we? Ooh, miscast. That's unfortunate. They're getting shot pretty good.
For the comet, ready! Reynolds, aim! We're ready! For Heldenhammer!
Really would rather not do that. So let's go with transmutation of lead. That will mess with them pretty good.
my lord.
Let's make sure that mortar is firing at the right spot. Good. Yeah, we want them routing, and let's get the horsemen over here routing them.
Ranged weapons ready.
General is just hanging out, that's fine.
No! Sigma!
Actually, if I can get Gelt to the transmutation of lead, so something I didn't really go over last time, is that the final transmutation, the new version of it, actually causes damage to a single target and makes it so that they stop being able to move, which kind of mimics the lore version of this spell, which is meant to be like he is turning their bones to gold, as it were. So we're going to get Gelt to kind of run up there and convert this dude to a statue. I don't think there's a thing for it. There's any kind of an animation change for it. At least none that I can see. I mean, he's covered in a lot of blood right now from all my arrows going into him. But he's going to be taking significant damage, and then I'll have my outriders focus him down as well. And then I've got my swordsmen kind of chasing them off, which is fine, because they cannot fire. Oh, so that makes him unbreakable and unmovable, so that he can just take damage and not rout. That's kind of funny. Sucks for that guy. Poor booger. Okay, so they're going to rout, and I shouldn't have taken very many casualties. Decisive victory, I like it. Yeah, Gelt lost a few, probably up here, and then it looks like Gelt was taking a fair bit of damage, probably from the ranged fire, which a little bit par for the course, unfortunately. He is going to be the target that they're going to be aiming for. Honestly, he's the biggest threat to them, so that's not surprising. Alright, let's see where we are here. So, I think I'm going to actually take captives. It's not much healing, but it's not nothing. So, we'll take some replenishment. He's gonna...
Very well.
No, he was completely destroyed, which works out. Okay.
Do not waste
So
my
now with Gelt, I really desperately need him. Let's go with cooldown minus 25%, minus 2 cost, cooldowns 5, miscast chance, and I think Greater Eric and Conduit next level up. We'll get the Lore Master for the Lore Medal. So let's go ahead. Let's see, and let's move the 20. Let's save 25% of our movement. We want to actually. What will make more sense? Okay, so I won't be able to walk in there actually. So we'll camp here, heal as much as we can. This guy will have come back over here. And what we'll actually do is we can start replacing some of our archers with crossbowmen. And oh, free company. So let's try. Let's do this and this.
the Empire.
Let's here's what we'll do. We'll merge as many as we can. We're gonna get rid of you and you for free company. And then we'll start slowly replacing. Actually, the archers. So the archers are cheap. And honestly, our infantry is not going to recover fast enough. And since we don't really need their killing power too much, let's see if we can't
I am ready. Are you?
combine a few troops and get some shielded spearmen. We're going to need to recover our melee infantry a little bit more than we're going to need to recover our range, since I have a feeling that's going to be the brunt of our killing power right now, is going to be our ranged. Let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll potentially worry about messing with our compositions more later, but I really want to try out this free company militia. Let's see, they're going to go down and attack Wissenland. which I don't like, because if he takes over the provinces,
is more valuable.
no, thank you, Orion. You are an angry elf, and you have the potential to get me into some wars I'd rather not be a part of. So he's going to attack Wissenland, inevitably, which is going to cause me no end of problems. Skarsnik, I'd really rather him not be... a thorn in my side right now, but that's
Yes, that
gonna be
will
a
do.
bit too much to ask, I have a feeling. Boo. So I'm gonna actually opt to go all the way over to my
It is
capital.
Very well, I will do this. Move.
Should be able to reach, because that'll net me some significant healing, protection of the walls,
Let us begin.
and some upkeep reduction with SFO, which is useful. And I think I'm going to go ahead and
Now?
replace that. Replace some Spirit Shields to kind of protect his archers, because he will potentially inevitably get attacked as well when this war with Wissenland shakes out. Let's see, yeah, they've already got Nuln up to tier 2. This might... Don't tell me, but I think this is tier 1? Still, I believe it's still tier 1, because that'll be tier 2... 3. No, I think this might actually be tier 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. So this is tier 2. I don't think they have access to the special artillery building in Null, but it might well be, because they've got mortars already. So that's kind of a little bit earlier than I expect, but hey, let's see if Skarsnik can't bloody their nose a little bit, and then we can come in and mop up the rest. And we will put in a city watch over here in Steingart, waiting on that to upgrade. Fort Sol is as upgraded as it can be right now. Oh, actually, next turn I will have enough, and I will be able to upgrade this to a Grand Fort. Huzzah! So that's going to be there. Okay, and we will end our turn and see how this shakes. Hesitantly, cautiously, yeah, that's it. I'm cautiously optimistic for my invasion of Nuln here. Let's see. Looks like Skarsnik took quite the punishment. I don't know who won that fight. Yeah, I'm not taking a defensive alliance with you, Orion. This ends very poorly for me, because you're going to end up declaring war on who knows where. See, oh, I think their strength rating took one heck of a dive, which probably, yeah, they're already asking for peace. So that probably means Skarsnik won that fight. Though I don't think I'm going to be able to reach... Okay, the Grand Tour. So we got another dilemma here. There are few better ways to attain political standing than getting the common man on your side. One possible way of doing this is a grand tour of the states, in which you schedule a cavalcade of travel from capital to capital, where you will address the masses on any and all matters that might concern them. Needless to say, organizing such a tour would involve calling in a lot of favors and pulling a lot of strings to achieve. So I can either arrange the tour, lose a little bit of prestige and gain an imperial authority, or do nothing and gain prestige. I'm going to go ahead and spend that prestige, because I want that imperial authority out of the negative. Even though at 0, I'm still getting a little bit of melee boost, melee defense boost for fighting against the Empire. I'm not quite all the way over there yet. However, I am gaining a bit of research and growth back from those debuffs. You can see the switch from -2 to 0. I think actually at -2, so I didn't actually move, but I'm getting closer to getting +1. 1 then some. Let's go ahead and upgrade it to the Grand Fort to protect our southern border, and see if I can... Yeah, I can't quite reach. Let me see.
You summon me.
Okay, I don't see Skarsnik. He might have gone into ambush stance, which doesn't bode well for us. Because again, I want to take over this, not see it fall into goblin hands. But I don't think there's a good way for me to... So...
On march.
Hang on, what was my... I need 50% movement to get into raid stance. I don't want to be caught out in raid stance. So why don't I just go 25%? Oh, okay, so Skarsnik lost. Skarsnik lost. It looks like...
Don't mess with me! What's your message?
Oh, that's surprising, I figured. Okay, never mind. So Skarsnik...
Not likely.
Ben von Lebowitz. I wonder if Skarsnik lost that fight.
Ready.
Or if he won. I guess I won't know until later. Let's go ahead and encamp so we can get a little bit of healing in. They probably won't attack us because they're probably freaked out by the fact that Gelt is even coming for them, but what do you expect? They disrespect me with their cry for independence. How dare you! We're going to go ahead and end our turn and see what Eben von Lebowitz has in store for us on this his turn. I'm rather curious to see if he actually goes for the attack or if he's going to just hang out and recruit. I have a feeling he'll... Okay, so he's going to move to the much more fortified Wissenberg and abandon Dotternbach. Now, they assume I'm going to attack Dotternbach, because it's probably the right call. But I think...
By Sigma, no!
I think I'm going to actually go over and attack Wissenberg.
Yes, that will do.
With my artillery... I've got the superior range. But I think I should be okay because I have the magic.
I shall be victorious.
Let's go take a look. Yeah, so okay, so they also have a mortar. They have about comparable range, but I have more higher range units. They do have some more free... They have free company militia, more than I do. We'll put the free company militia on the wings and have them fire into the backs. I think I will be sending my outriders. Let me see. Hopefully I have a map that has some forests. Oh, good. Okay, so I can deploy my free company back here and they can go after their mortars. My mortars are going to have a longer range than theirs, so that's going to be super useful. And then with Balthasar being deployed out front, not sure if that's actually the best move, but... Okay, they also have... I wonder where they're getting their... Oh, it must be something that he's giving them. Magic resistance. Oh, how dare you. How dare you. Oh, we're gonna teach him the meaning of bones to gold. That's how this story's gonna end. Okay. And let's go ahead and get into this punch-up. I have a vague idea of what I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to wait for their mortar to kind of... Because my mortar is going to be able to outrange them, I think they will potentially start moving their troops in towards me, and if they don't... I guess we'll have to see... 49, that's perfectly acceptable.
Mortar!
I wonder if putting my mortar up more front and kind of setting my troops up here... That's impassable this way. So if I put... when I have another... so okay, so this... Okay, alright, so that's the road. So it's impassable from this way. So if I set up some ranged troops over here... It's a bit of a choke in here, and that's not the worst in the world. I think it's more defensible than this over here. I mean, this is not a bad spot, too, because it has these two raised hills, but it's also got... This just opens up the area a bit more, and I think I might have an idea for that. I think I'm going to see if I can't pull a bit of creative shenanigans over here. So we're going to pretend. Let's put you right in the middle there.
Ready for war!
we're going to pretend like our mortar is going to be super.
The Empire endures.
Let's put you back here in case they get around.
Spearmen.
These spearmen are relatively hidden. So what we're gonna do, we'll get Gelt. We'll get Gelt up front, hidden in some trees, and we'll get our Outriders over here and just kind of waiting. So what we're gonna do, what the plan is anyway, and don't forget about our crossbowmen. So we're going to take all our range units back into the forest and kind of line them up over here. We're going to line up our infantry kind of here, attract them, and then try to fire from the back a little bit. We'll also keep some spearmen and Eldard guard kind of in reserve to protect our mortars because we really don't want them to get fired this way. It will potentially prompt, so we'll turn off all the fire at will and skirmish mode. Whoop. Don't want to forget about that guy. Let's separate these two. So these guys and these guys. So so potentially we're going to attract them all to the infantry clump that we'll have here, and then the range will just be able to fire from kind of behind, and we'll see if that works out. I don't think I'm forgetting any units. Let's see how this shakes out. So our mortars can't quite reach them.
For Heldenhammer!
Gelt is going to be sneaky. I'm going to see if I can't. Let's set you up here.
March as one.
Let's go with
Show us the foe.
all of our units.
Take the ground. We serve the Emperor. Seeking enemy. Yes. Moving out, sir. Militia to battle. Crossbows ready, General.
Make sure those guys are hidden. Our mortar. Just shy.
Ready for war! Armor melts.
They're not gonna know where that came from.
Take the ground!
They're definitely gonna know they're taking some damage, and now our artillery is going to be doing some work. Okay, let's try to block off this.
Moving now.
The Empire endures!
Yes, sir. Quickly. Go, sir. Spearman. By Ulrich's wrath. Spearman. Taking position. Ready for war.
Ulrich's wrath on them!
Okay, so they're coming up towards us.
Take position!
So actually we want to do
For the Warhammer. Formation.
spread those formations as thin as possible.
Free company. Crossbowmen. Formation. March.
Moving now!
So they're going to be coming after us here, so what we're going to do,
Swords.
great sword's kind of in the back.
The Heldenhammer.
Let's go with you guys here and you guys in more reserves. So we're going to try to see if, we're going to see how they behave. I really want their mortars to stop moving because that'll prompt me to charge. Let's see. Okay, they're going to start firing pretty soon here.
Outriders. Hammer and blade.
Get a big cast going.
Moving faster!
Outriders! To battle!
Let's go ahead and get our guys moving over there. The Outriders to attack. Those aren't going to hit very well because they're going through forests.
Militia! Crossbows ready, General! For the Warhammer! Go! We are Sigmar's heirs! Ready for war! Yes, sir! Quickly!
Transportation.
Moving now! Yes, sir! Quickly!
Okay, so we've tasted off their mortar.
Mortar!
Let's go ahead and...
For the twin-tailed comet!
Balthasar Gelt! Feel my fire!
Soldiers of the Empire! Ready for war! Rah!
Yeah, that was a pretty good Gehenna's Golden Hounds, if I do say so myself.
At speed!
Let's get those guys moving around here a little bit.
Great swords!
Great swords to go in and help out.
Fallen star!
Ready to fire! We serve the Emperor! Finding range, sir! For Heldenhammer! Shields up! Now! Yes, my lord! No lingering! Swordsmen, to battle! By Gunpowder!
I am supreme! They'll never move again. The Empire endures! Formation, march! Go! On way!
We serve the Emperor! Sigma! Mortar! Militia!
To battle! See to it! Quick march! No lingering! I am master of Shaman. Armor melts.
Crossbowmen! Get them! Great swords! For the Emperor! Spearmen! Now! For Heldenhammer! Formation! March! For the Warhammer!
Okay.
Withdraw!
Oh dear. I overcommitted or didn't properly help out those guys.
Move out! Take the ground! Let's go!
Understood!
By Ulrich's will! Formation, march! To battle! At speed!
Mortar!
What's my mortar doing?
For the twin-tailed comet! Moving! Outriders! Free company! Understood!
For the Empire! Taste gold magic!
At speed! Take position! We obey!
Oh, what are they doing? They went right into combat. That's fine.
For Heldenhammer! By Karl Maras! We obey!
should be a mass route here pretty soon. Why don't you go in there and help out your friends?
We are Sigmar's heirs.
Charge!
It should be army losses. Okay, that was a little bit sloppier than I would have liked. They didn't quite behave the way I assumed they would, which is kind of my bad. Gelt got a good amount of damage in, but he also took a lot of damage, which I don't necessarily like. However, because this was a settlement battle, they will definitely all get wiped out, so I won't have to worry so much about that and about them recovering anything. I don't think I'm going to sack the settlement. I think I'm going to take it over because I need the recruitment. Hopefully I'll be able to keep the building that they have in there. They have actually a training field. I can't remember the name of it exactly, so let's go ahead and occupy.
Let us begin.
I didn't get to keep it, but they do have a tap room, which the AI definitely smartly put in there, I guess. Okay, so this is tier 2, so Nuln is tier 2. It's good to know. So why don't we go ahead and combine a few more forces,
I am ready.
combine a few
Are
of
you?
these, get these combined as well, and get some more spearmen, and let's go ahead and combine all these guys,
I am the supreme patriarch.
kick you out, and I ran into cash and check. Haha. Foolish, foolish me. That is fine. Though, because they do not have a very large force, so it should be relatively straightforward to get rid of that.
Praise Sigmar.
He can hang out there. I don't have any money to build anything here, but that should be relatively okay for right now. I'm not expecting the vampires, though the vampire counts are attacking. Because you'd happen to declare war on them, thinking I would help, but I'm busy with Null. I'm busy with Whistlelands, so they will have to deal. And they can deal for a little while. So what I might want to do is go to Dottenbach and sack it so that I can get some money. I don't need that settlement over much, so that might actually be the right move there. That being said, I think also keeping this army over here in Fester Spike, just to keep an eye on it, is not the right move at the moment. I can lose Fester Spike and not lose too much. Let's see, historically the Moot has been ruled by Sturland, but it is currently under the control of the Elector Count of another state. Sturland's Elector Count, Albric Haupt Audrinson, has asked for your help in returning the city to his rule immediately. So Sturland, if I demand the Moot's return, the Moot will return the Sturland. I lose fealty with Reichland, gain it with Sturland. Opposite is true if I allow expansion and allow Reichland to keep it. I think I'm actually going to demand of the Moot's return so that Sturland can get a better foothold over here, since they're kind of getting pretty decimated by Vlad. Looks like Telebeckland is actually also getting a bit of, is also in a bit of a bad way. Oh, okay, so we got a buff. Aim for the head. New targeting techniques have been introduced to your army's training regiments, teaching the troops to focus on the enemy's weak points. Damage from missile weapons has increased faction-wide as a result. Nice. So our ranged is actually going to do a lot more. Oh, no, I didn't realize they had both of these provinces. Both the settlements. Oh, Telebeckland. Oh, vampires, you are so aggressive.
The nation calls.
Okay, so we're going to get, as I said before, we're going to get Lore Master Lore of Metal. So that'll help decrease our Winds of Magic costs as well. And let's go ahead and go get into this punch-up over here.
Ulrich's will.
Let's see. It's a decisive victory. I don't foresee really needing to fight this fight. I don't. So it's not telling me I'm losing any units, so I should be okay. Yeah, so that's perfectly acceptable. Not going to get very much money or healing out of it, so I'm just going to occupy.
The Empire.
And let's see,
What?
we're gonna go ahead and I should. Yeah. Actually, I have enough for one more.
I am ready. Are you?
So that'll be good there. And I'm going to take you, Matterness Fauerbach, however you want to pronounce that, and march you back over here, away from Fester Spike. Not abandoning it, but I can't afford to hold it. What I need to go is,
I am the supreme
what I need to do right
patriarch.
now is I need to take over Nuln, which shouldn't be overly difficult. It doesn't, I don't think, so they've got probably another unit of Vampire Knights as well. They don't have very much in the way of a garrison, so this shouldn't be, again, overly difficult to take. But what matters to me more is securing this area over here against the vampires. And I have a feeling that they're going to be causing us a lot of problems. I am getting Chaos Corruption. Where am I getting it from? Here. Unhappy Populace. Self-fulfilling prophecy, no? So basically what's happening is as they're getting more mad, I'm getting more Chaos Corruption. And the Chaos Corruption is lowering my lowering my public order, which is then causing more Chaos Corruption, so on and so forth. So I think by garrisoning this area with I'm sure I'm getting a debuff of public order. Yeah, here we go, debuff of public order from the Tailor's Guild, which is wonderful. As soon as I upgrade this as soon as I start the upgrade for this to a tier 3, I'm going to demolish my farm and build a public order settlement, tap room, which is over here. That'll give me a big public order boost, which is going to be super useful. And then I'm also going to upgrade it to a tavern eventually, which is going to really increase my public order, which I'm definitely having problems with. So let's go ahead and end our turn here. We just have a little while longer before we take Nuln, and then we'll be able to see what we have in store for ourselves artillery-wise. As soon as that happens, Fester Spike, that's kind of our next, I think, a big move is to take out Skarsnik over here, since he is causing, again, us no end of problems. Eventually he will at least... Oh, okay, historically the region of Keppelberg has been ruled over by Tillebekland, but it currently under the control of Elector Count of another state. Helman Fjerbach, the rightful Elector Count of Tillebekland, has asked for your help in restoring his rule over this land. Let's go ahead and give it back to Ostermark. Again, Ostermark is definitely having problems over there, and I think it needs all the help it can get, because I'm sure it's getting the bad end of several sticks here. Let's see. Yeah. It's got a revolt here. Kislev has wandered in and taken over that area. Mordheim has been taken over by the Bone Rattlers. It's getting the short end of the stick, and then Tillebekland also is getting pushed into by the vampire counts, the von Karsteins rather, which is just all the best for them. They are in a bad way, but I am dealing with Nuln right now, not dealing with them so much. So let's go ahead. Oh, I could just auto-resolve this into a decisive victory, which, honestly, sieges are not my favorite. Sometimes I end up struggling with them quite a bit, so why don't I just do that? I don't think I'll lose any units or get them overly... They'll get pretty... I have a feeling pretty significantly damaged, but we can always replenish them pretty quick. Yeah, so that's, again, not the worst thing in the world for us here. Let's go ahead and occupy Nuln.
Now?
And now we should be in a much better situation. Along with, if we go to our Electrocount screen, now we own Nuln. So Nuln gives us the electric count of Wissenland, so missile resistance plus 40%, missile strength of artillery units for the Lord's Army plus 10%, recruitment rank for artillery units plus 2 for Lord's Army, and upkeep of electric count state troop units minus 5% for all armies faction wide. So what we're going to do is, let's see, does it actually make sense? Oh wow, okay, it actually makes more sense to put, what was this dude's name again?
I will marshal the men.
Martinus Furberg. So Martinus Furberg, let's make you electric count.
well.
Let's make you electric count of...
All right.
Oh, he has to be of Solent? Well, that makes me sad.
Agreed.
So be it.
Well, that's just sad. Okay. I was hoping to make him the ruling faction because
Very
this will increase the recruitment rank and missile strength and upkeep, or missile strength and recruitment rank of artillery units, but suppose it's not possible. Ah, well. So this guy now has the Bloodbringer Rune Fang, the Wissenland Rune Fang. Oh, and it has the ability of around himself they lose speed and vigor. His post-battle loot's increased, his weapon strength's increased, and his melee attack is increased. So this guy is going to be a nightmare to deal with from our enemies. Let's go ahead and have him situate himself in our capital to hopefully pull that public order out of the
Ready.
well, out of the bad place it's in right now. And that's 4,700. Okay. Let's enact the Council of Burgermeisters to increase our growth.
Yes.
And actually, I kind of want the Wand of Jet to give myself an increase in magic, but I think right now it's more important is getting to Lightning Strike, because I do not want to be getting caught out in a bad way. So let's go ahead and go with Reassuring Presence to decrease our attrition and increase our recovery rate, our casualty replenishment rate. So we'll get that all the way up to rank 3, and then let's see, recruitment rank for all units, public order, fervent. And we'll probably get one leader of renown to increase or decrease our recruitment costs and give ourselves a little bit of experience. Never a bad thing. Let's go ahead and replace our last archer unit.
Do not waste my potential.
The crossbow, we'll be replacing all that with guns as soon as we're able. Let's go ahead and build a cloth. Yeah, let's go ahead and build a clothier there. We'll demolish that as soon as our public order stabilizes a bit. But let's go ahead and go to Nuln and take a look at yeah, here it is. The Nuln Cannon Foundry. The foundry districts of Nuln are full of choking soot as the forges burn night and day, churning out Imperial artillery. So it looks like the Deliverance. So they have a special legendary unit. This unit has legendary status in the eyes of both friend and foe. It is so powerful and unique that only one of this unit can be fielded at a time. Wow. So the Deliverance. Hellstorm. So right from the get-go with the Nolan Cannon Factory, I'd be able to get the cannon, the Great Cannons, the Hellstorm, Hellblaster Volley Gun, mortars, handgunners, war wagons. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I am definitely aiming for this as soon as I possibly can because that is just amazing. However, so in that vein, actually, let's go ahead and demolish these, get ourselves some farms.
The Empire.
However, it's going to be quite some time before that is even available to me, as Nuln this area is very underdeveloped. So I think I'm going to end up getting guns and mortars from this settlement first before I even can work my way over here. But I will eventually be getting the Nuln Cannon factory or foundry as soon as possible, because that's going to be hugely beneficial to our campaign. Once we start getting into proper fights with the vampire counts, which I have a feeling I'll have to start pushing that tide back into Sylvania as quickly as possible here, because my empire is going to see a marked increase in attacks anytime now. So let's go ahead and build a weaving house to increase our income a little bit. And I think this is a decent enough spot to call it for this episode. So we've managed to completely take Wissenland from the original Elector Count. We've appointed our good friend Maternus Fierabach to be the Elector Count, which got him the Bloodbringer, the Rune Fang of Wissenland. And we are going to be working our way towards the Nuln Cannon Foundry very soon here. And eventually, probably next time, we're going to be moving towards a war either with Skarsnik over here, because I am now looking forward to them expanding into Vesterspike, or with the Vampire Counts, and I have a feeling, honestly, I'd like to hold off on going to war with the vampires just for a little while longer, but they might be expanding too quickly for me to ignore them anymore at this point. But we'll see what happens. Oh, and the Empire's at war with them. Actually, so maybe it'd be useful to not be at war with them for a little while, and to maybe go to war with Skarsnik, since I don't think...
Speak your words and I'll decide if youse lives or dies.
Yeah, maybe it'd be a better idea to go to war with Skarsnik. But we'll make that decision next time. So on that note, thanks for watching, and I will see everyone in the next episode.